As you said, I was born from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church family, and I grew up as an Orthodox. Therefore, I see that people misrepresenting this Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Because, whenever you talk about the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, you have to first of all see the history before Christianity, because the Ethiopian Church is highly dependent on the religious experience of Ethiopians that existed before Christianity. As it was already said, Saint Matthew was an apostle, and he was a missionary to Ethiopia. And both the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and the Catholic tradition affirms that Saint Matthew was a missionary to Ethiopia, and he was martyred in the mission field. But what is more surprising to me is not that Saint Matthew went to Ethiopia, but what was the compelling reason for Saint Matthew to go to Ethiopia? And most scholars, they don't talk about that. And the most compelling reason for Saint Matthew, according to the tradition, was the growing number of Black Jewish people in Abyssinia. Abyssinia is the former name of Ethiopia. In the even before Christianity came to Ethiopia, there was a strong sense of monotheistic belief which had been already established in the lands of Abyssinia. We can read this from the Kibra Nagas, which is translated as the Glory of Kings, which is a national epic of Ethiopia and a repository of the most important of Ethiopian national and religious feelings and aspiration. And this scholar, whose name is Edward Androv, he said, the Kibra Nagas is the truest and the most genuine expression of Abyssinian Christianity. And this book speaks about the history of Queen Makeda. We read this history from 1 Kings chapter 10, who is commonly known as Queen Sheba. And Queen Sheba went to Solomon and she stayed with him for about 2 to 4 months in the 10th BC. And upon her return to Ethiopia, she gave birth to Menelik I, who is the son of King Solomon. And Menelik I went back to his father. When he grew up, he went back to his father, and his father asked him to stay with him, but he refused and went back to Ethiopia with the firstborn Jewish people, among whom were some priests included, who decided to take with them the Ark of the Covenant to Abyssinia, which is called the Tabut. And the Tabut is the true Ark of the Covenant, which has been brought to Aksum from Jerusalem. And this transfer of the Ark or the Tabut signified that the God of Israel has changed his dwelling place on earth from Jerusalem to Aksum, which is the ecclesiastical and the political capital of Ethiopia. And now Aksum becomes the new Zion. This impression is there, Aksum becoming the new Zion. That's why it became the pilgrim center where people from all of the world go to celebrate this annual festival called Tumkat, which was celebrated last week. And people from all over the world, especially from those areas from Greek Orthodox Church and from Russian Orthodox Church, from the Coptic Egyptian Orthodox Church, and even from Indian Orthodox Church. People go to this particular place because according to Ethiopia, Aksum is a new Zion and the Ethiopians are the new chosen people. Therefore, this Tabut is central to the worship of the church in Ethiopia, and the way the Tabut is carried in procession around the Ethiopian churches during annual Christian celebration is like Jewish forms of worship. I may not have time to go through that one. Therefore, the Judaic tradition has influenced the Ethiopians. Even after Christianity became the dominant phase, the forms of Judaism have retained great value Therefore, with numerous witnesses and documents, the presence of Judaism in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church seems established beyond doubt. And the growth of Black Jewish in Ethiopia became the concern of Saint Matthew to be a missionary in Ethiopia. Okay. So Christianity is not something carried by Western people later in the 4th or the 5th century. Rather, it has deep roots within the Orthodox Church and within the Jewish religion. That is one of the expression and identity of religion in Africa, specifically in Ethiopia, and also their Ethiopians' direct contact with the apostles, especially Saint Matthew, and also as it is already expressed about the experience of the Ethiopian Enoch with Philip the Evangelist. And also we have the Ethiopian representatives who went to Jerusalem during the Pentecost in Acts chapter 2. We read this fact from John Chrysostom's homily on the Acts of the Apostles that the Ethiopians were present during the Pentecost experience. And later on, we see Jewish immigrants soon extended their influence all over Ethiopia, and their civilization became the characteristics expression of the Aksumite kingdom, one of the 4 strong kingdoms by then. And also we have the presence of Christian Red Sea traders who had a vital role for the establishment of Christianity in Ethiopia.